Welcome to the Blue Mouse Knits. Today I'm going to teach you how to work a horizontal button band when working in 1x1 rib. This example pattern is my Atami cardigan. So for the first step, bring our yarn in between the needles to the front and slip the next stitch as if to purl. Bring your yarn in between your needles to the back and slip the next stitch as if to purl again. So we pass the first slip stitch over the second and off. So go into it, hold on to the second one, pull the first over and off. And now we can work our repeat of a slip one with yarn in back, pass the slip stitch over. So slip the next stitch with the yarn held in the back of your work, pass our first slip stitch over the second and off. So go into it, hold on to the one closest to the edge, pull it up, over, and off. And you just repeat that as many times as you want to get however large of a buttonhole that you want. So I'm going to work that repeat 2 additional times. So again, slip the next one with the yarn in back, pass the slip stitch over, slip the next one as if to purl, pass that slip stitch over and off. So in total, I have bound off 4 stitches. Go ahead and slip this stitch from your right hand needle to your left hand needle without twisting it and turn your work. To begin step 2, working on the wrong side, you're going to cast on 1 more stitch than you bound off. So I bound off 4 stitches, so I'm going to cast on 5. And I'm going to use the cable cast on method. So we're going to go in between these 2 stitches on our left hand needle from back to front. So bring your needle in between them. You're not catching any loops. Now yarn over from front to back. And we're going to use this tension to pull that yarn over through like this. And then without twisting it, I place it onto my left hand needle. Tighten it up just a little bit. You want it to be not too tight, but about the same tension as the rest of the stitches. So now we bring our needle in between the new first 2 stitches. So you can kind of split them apart. Go in between that new cast on stitch and the regular. Yarn over from front to back. Use the tension to kind of pull that yarn over through. Pull out a loop a little bit and slip it onto your left hand needle. Pull to tighten it just a little bit. So just do that same method until you've cast on 1 more than you bound off. So here I've cast on 5 stitches. Go ahead and turn your work back to the right side. So with the yarn in the back of my work, go ahead and slip the next stitch as if to purl. And then we're going to do a PSSO. In this case, we're going to pass our last cast on stitch over that slip stitch and off. So grab just that last cast on stitch, pull it up, over, and off. And then kind of pull on the yarn to tighten it up just a little bit. So now you just need to continue on in your 1x1 rib until you're ready to work that again. So for me, I need to work 6 stitches in between each buttonhole. My next stitch is a knit column, so I'm going to knit it and then continue on in the 1x1 rib until I've worked all my stitches and I'm ready to work another buttonhole. And the amount of stitches that you bind off for your buttonhole will depend on the thickness of your yarn and what size button you're using. When you get done with the row with all of your buttonholes and you turn your work, we're just going to continue on in pattern across all of our cast on stitches. I've stopped a couple stitches before my buttonhole. So this first one here is a knit column. So I'm going to knit it. And since I'm working in 1x1 rib, the next one is a purl, followed by a knit, followed by a purl. And that is the gist of it. So even though you don't have the column below it to tell, you should, if you've cast on the correct amount of stitches, end up with your stitch pattern working all the way across. So I just kept alternating from where my established pattern was all the way across, and it lines up. If yours is not lining up, it's most likely because you didn't cast on that 1 extra stitch, and so you are missing 1 stitch. But that's pretty much it. You just keep going in that 1x1 pattern all the way down, and it should line up with your already established like knits and purls in between each buttonhole. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, and you can find all my knitting patterns, including this cardigan here, on my Etsy and Ravelry shops.